Over the past 7 years, the Tesla Model 3 has become the quintessential electric vehicle, especially if you guys are looking for a premium, long-range electric sports sedan. Well, for 2024, the company is finally giving the Model 3 a big refresh, and I'm here on the Chicago Auto Show floor, finally taking a look at this vehicle, so let's go ahead and take a first look. So the Tesla Model 3 will always hold a special place in my heart because I was actually one of the first people to get a 2018 model nearly 6 years ago. It was a Model 3 Performance in their deep blue pearl metallic, which was one of my favorite color combinations with the white interior. So after finally seeing the Highland refresh, that's what Tesla calls it internally, this big revision that Tesla's giving it in person, I have to say the look of the Model 3 is definitely different. I'm not entirely sure it's an improvement over the pre-revised version, but let me know in the comment section below. We'll talk about in just the styling changes in just a second. I want to go ahead and pop the hood here and remind you guys what's underneath this thing. Now, obviously, it does have a very usable frunk, and I believe the capacity here is actually maybe 4 cubic feet. This is actually much more usable than other vehicles in the competitive set, because remember, this segment has changed to now include vehicles like the BMW i4, the Hyundai Ioniq 6, and this model that I'm showing you here is the dual motor long range. Now, Tesla doesn't disclose the battery size, but it does have a new battery pack built by CATL on the standard range version. This model has a different battery pack, and I believe it's like right around 85 kilowatt hours if I'm mistaken, but that is again kind of just speculation. Tesla doesn't tell us the actual amount. The dual motor all-wheel drive version that I'm showing you here will get to 60 in 4.2 seconds. If you guys go for the single motor standard range battery pack, that'll do it in around 5.8 seconds. Right now, as of this filming, there is no performance variant yet, but we expect it to be coming back possibly with some plaid-like upgrades, although it probably won't have a tri-motor system. That model should do just 0 to 60 in around 3 seconds. That's what basically Rob is waiting to purchase when his Model Y lease is over toward the end of this year. In terms of range, Tesla did improve the range because of the improvement in aerodynamics. This vehicle will now go up to 340 miles of range on a full charge. That's this model that I'm showing you here. If you guys go for the standard range battery pack, it'll do 272 miles. If you guys upgrade to the 19-inch wheels, it'll drop the range to 305 on this particular model here. Again, Tesla's battery pack and their performance figures are still among the best in the industry, although the Ioniq 6 technically has around 20 more miles of range if you go for that standard range model. Now, in terms of the look of this vehicle, you can see all Model 3s continue to have full LED headlights. The headlights themselves kind of look a little bit more like the Tesla Roadster. You can see they're kind of like a skinnier slit. There's this new LED daytime running light that kind of has like a continuous line, as opposed to previously it was just kind of like a little shallow area here that lit up and illuminated. The headlights themselves are LED low and high beams. You do have LED turn signals. The front fascia here, you can see, is still very clean. Tesla says they've improved the aerodynamics of this car. That's one of the main reasons why it gets better range. There are some actual openings here that allow air to pass through, but again, it's an EV, so you don't really need to have that much in terms of grille openings and whatnot, which kind of cleans up the look. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys prefer the Highland version, the refresh model, or if you guys preferred the pre-refresh model. Get used to seeing these because Tesla sells a ton of these pretty much every year. Now, moving around the side profile, you can see overall dimensions have pretty much stayed the same. This is a compact, premium sporty electric sedan, but the overall length has increased to 185.4 inches. So it's around an inch longer than before. It has a 113-inch long wheelbase, which again is going to kind of fall in between the premium class segment. This is actually going to be longer versus something like the BMW i4 in terms of the wheelbase size. And then in terms of the wheels, these are the standard 18-inch Photon wheels. So you can see it actually has an aerodynamic cover on it. If you take that cover off, it's going to obviously make it less aerodynamic. But these wheels, I don't hate them, but I don't love them. I like how they're kind of like a dark graphite gray finish. And like I said, this is an 18-inch wheel riding on a 235 by 45 R18 tire. Tesla does offer a 19-inch wheel that will reduce the range, like I said, to 305 miles. It has kind of like a silver two-tone look to it, but let me know in the comment section below which wheels you would go with. I personally would probably just go with these wheels because they are going to get you the best range. In terms of the rest of the profile, Tesla eventually got rid of all the silver trim, and they kind of did like a blackout package for the handles and the window trim. You still get the standard glass roof, although this doesn't open up to vent air, but it does, allow you to kind of have that nice, view out of the vehicle to improve the visibility. In terms of the charge port door, you can see it's located right here. That hasn't changed. And this vehicle does have improved supercharging capability. So the standard range model can accept up to 170 kilowatts. The dual range model, or the dual motor version that I'm showing you with the bigger battery pack, can accept up to 250 kilowatts, which again will make this vehicle a little bit quicker to charge versus the pre-refresh model. Now, looking at the back, you can see this is where I think I prefer the pre-revised model, because the taillights themselves, they kind of have that trendy C-shaped design. Now, it's definitely different. Tesla also is now spelling out their name at the back. There's still the dual motor badge to show that you have the all-wheel drive version. And then down here you can see the rear bumper looks a little bit more aggressive. I'm hoping that Tesla, for the performance variant, when they eventually reintroduce it, will introduce a more aggressive front and rear diffuser, perhaps even a more prominent rear lip spoiler design. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys like the taillights of this revised model or the pre-refresh model. In terms of the cargo area, you can see it's a trunk. This vehicle doesn't have a hatch like you'd find on like the BMW i4, but you can see the power mechanism is actually standard, even on the base version, so that's great to see. Tesla actually says there's 24 cubic feet of total storage space back here. Now, I'm assuming it's probably 15 cubic feet with the trunk itself, because you do have the ability to fold the seats down, but unlike some competitors, Tesla has a very deep storage well here that allows you to store more items. So if you combine that area with the actual trunk, that's where Tesla gets the 24, and maybe even the front capacity, it's probably a total amount. But overall, you can see, even though this is not a full liftback, you can see there is a pretty usable amount of space if you guys are looking at the trunk area. So the exterior of the Model 3 refresh was more of a subtle evolution versus the pre-refresh model. The interior is where Tesla really made some big changes in this vehicle. And obviously, with Tesla being a software company first, they really focused a lot on the tech department, but they also focused a lot on the interior in general. This feels a lot more premium versus the pre-refresh model. You can see as I get into this vehicle, it has a nice low, easy step-in height, very low to the ground because it's a sporty sedan, but you'll see there's this continuous LED light that kind of goes across the entire interior. It connects from the door panel, or it starts at the door panel, goes all the way across the dash. You can actually change the color of that as well. I have it set to this beautiful kind of lavender purple violent color. It definitely ups the ambiance in this interior. It feels a lot nicer. The materials also are surprisingly good. The door panel has a soft leather material over the upper portion. There's this suede Alcantara padded area where you'd rest your armrests, or where you rest your elbows, of course. The window controls, one touch for all four, up and down, which they have a high quality tactile feel. There's a button here that hasn't really changed that allows you to open the door. And then when I get inside this vehicle, the seats, you can see this is the black vegan interior. I personally would go for the white interior for an extra $1,000, but the seats themselves are a little bit more aggressively bolstered. There's now perforations in the seats. That's because every Model 3, even the base model, comes with heated and ventilated seats. So again, really nice change that Tesla has done. The steering wheel is also heated. And then you can see here, this is the newer Tesla steering wheel, which has removed the stalks for the turn signals and the drive, the drive selector, the transmission selector. So you can see the steering wheel itself is a powered tilt telescoping mechanism. You can adjust the steering wheel by going into the controls in the screen, and then using the dials here, you can actually move it up and down. You can also make it come in and out. The buttons here for the turn signals, you can see, are definitely strange. It's something I'm gonna have to get used to. You can see there's also a camera that shows what's actually in your blind spot when you have the turn signal on, so I love that feature. Your headlight controls are also here. Your wiper controls are also here. There's basically an automatic setting for a rain sense function, and everything is kind of just in the actual steering wheel. I'm not sure I like that. I'll have to wait until I can get one and drive for a couple days to see if I can get used to it. But the steering wheel itself, I love the thick rim design. It's got a nice high quality leather on it. It's got some new materials. It's got a flat bottom design. I love the new Tesla logo here. Although in some Tesla vehicles this lights up, I'm not entirely sure it does in this Model 3 refresh. But overall, it definitely makes a great futuristic first impression. Now, in terms of the rest of the dash, you can see the dash materials have also been upgraded. There's this kind of sound bar that goes across the dash, which they've had before, but it now has a different look to it. This upper portion here is now soft touch. I love how low the dash is, so you can kind of see out of the vehicle really easily. That's probably why the Model 3 sells so well, because people can easily drive the vehicle. There's a nice padded area over here, or this portion of the dash. And then if you guys open this up, you can see the glove compartment opens up via a button here on the screen. That's actually a dash style glove compartment. It's a little bit on the small side. If I remember correctly, on my old Model 3, it used to be a little bit larger. Now, in terms of the infotainment system, it's still a 15.4-inch touchscreen. This has the latest software that Tesla has been using in all their newer models. You can see there's where all your basic controls are. This area here, this little quadrant, stays pretty much the same. It's in showroom mode now, so I can't actually start the vehicle up. It uses a key card, or your phone as a key, to get into the vehicle. And this is where you see basically all your controls and see your speed information and the driver assistance information. If you guys exit out of this, you can see there's your navigation function. Tesla also allows you to basically put Google Earth in there. It has, route by navigation. If you guys put a GPS function, it'll tell you where to stop for the superchargers. There's your cameras around the vehicle. You can see Tesla always does really high quality full 360 cameras. I love how there's now a blind view camera, blind spot monitoring. That's something that the original Model 3s kind of didn't have very good integration in. And then if you go back to the controls here, if you go to lights, this is where Tesla allows you to change the color accent lighting. So they have, preset ones that looks like 7 preset lightings, but then you can also go to a little color wheel here and you can literally see it change color in the actual interior. So that's a fantastic touch. Love that customization, that little detail. It really adds to the whole ambiance of this interior. This screen itself Very quick and snappy. It's really easy to use. You have your usual, audio stuff where you can go to FM. You can also go to, Spotify and Slacker radio. So this system, while it does lack wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, most owners who actually own a Tesla really appreciate the native software just because Tesla system works extremely well. There's also a built-in browser in this interior, so you can basically surf the web and whatnot. You can see, look at the graphics. I mean, this basically looks like a tablet that's in your interior. Although I will say, I just got out of the Tesla Cybertruck. The 15.4-inch screen, I hate to say this, is starting to look a little small, but that's just kind of the way technology is. Everything's kind of moving forward. Now we see like 17-inch screens in Chevy vehicles, so it really shows how screens are just going a little bit crazy, and they really improve the look of the overall interior. Now, in terms of the center stack here, you can see there are 2 wireless phone charging pads here. I also love the leather stitching that you see along the accent border of the wireless chargers. Open this up, you can see Tesla got rid of the piano black from the earlier models, and now you can see your cup holders here. There's deep storage here. You have a 12-volt power outlet over here, which is nice. You have a nice padded center console area, which open this up, you can see there's more additional storage over here, which is nice. So this whole interior, I must say, feels a lot more sturdy. The quality, construction, the materials in here, Tesla has just really improved that. You have a glass roof above me here. You can see it's very dark tinted. This doesn't open up to vent air, but it does, again, create more of an open ambiance. There's some LED map lighting in here. The visors, you can see, have a really interesting curved design. There's like a cloth material on the headliner, and overall, it still very much feels like a Model 3, but at the same time, Tesla's really upped the technology. They've upped the premium feel, and it does feel a little bit snug, but I'm really liking the changes that Tesla has made. Let's go ahead and hop into the back seat area, because this is where the Model 3 also got an upgrade here that I wasn't expecting the company to do. Now, getting back here, you can see, in terms of the rear seat legroom, the pre-refresh model had around 34.5 inches of legroom. I expect this version here to kind of be the same. As I get in and shut the door, you can see material quality is the same as the front. So you have this beautiful soft touch leather, more of that beautiful ambient lighting. There's some, suede Alcantara here. It's padded where you'd rest your elbow. There's a button here to open up the door of the vehicle. And then if you fold this down, you can see there's an armrest that gives you 2 cup holders. The seats themselves, they have the same perforation here, but these are just, I believe, a heated seat back here. So again, that's going to be standard. Now the big change, obviously, is this screen back here. You have a 8-inch or 8.4-inch touchscreen back here, which basically allows you to kind of stream audio or stream your favorite video services. You can also control your audio information. You can turn on and off the heated rear seat. Before, there was no screen back here. You had to turn on the heated rear seats from the front screen. So again, that's a really nice touch. Love the graphics and resolution. I love how quick and snappy it is. You can also turn on your climate control there. You can also increase the volume from back here. So love this little feature back here. Tesla also allows you to control the air vents. The air vents are going to be controlled via the screen here, and you can see I can actually move forward and back the front passenger seat now. So wasn't expecting to find that. That's a really nice upscale touch. You have 2 USB-C charging ports here. The floor is completely flat. In terms of rear seat headroom, you can see at 5'7", I lean back here and my head doesn't get close to this. But again, if you guys don't really like sun, this is where the sun may roast you, even though this is very dark tinted. If you guys live in hotter climates, this is where I kind of wish Tesla would offer an actual shade, although I think you can get that from the aftermarket. So overall, the backseat area hasn't really changed in terms of space, but in terms of technology, that's a huge improvement that I think that a lot of owners who have the previous model are going to appreciate when you get into the refresh version. Now, you probably see a Tesla Model 3 everywhere. It doesn't really matter where you live. Tesla managed to sell around 240,000 of these vehicles in 2022. That number dropped to around 63,000 units in 2023, and that's because a lot of people gravitated from the Model 3 over to the Model Y. The Model Y is now Tesla's best-selling model with around 300,000 units pretty much sold every year. But again, the Model 3 is still a very important vehicle for Tesla. So finally seeing the changes for the refreshed Highland version have really improved this vehicle, in my opinion, a lot in terms of the technology. In terms of the design, that's always kind of a personal taste. I personally like the way this vehicle looks in the front more. However, in the rear, I think I may have preferred the pre-refresh model. The interior, however, is a big upgrade. I love the upgraded materials. I love the new features. I love the new tech that you get with the touchscreen in the back seat area. And really what makes the Model 3 so special is the fact that Tesla has kept this thing extremely competitive due to the price changes that you've always seen throughout the years. Right now, as of this filming, you can basically get your hands on this model as early as like a month or two now. You can basically go to Tesla's website, put down a $250 reservation deposit, and order one of these vehicles. And the base standard range rear-wheel drive model is going to start at around $38,990. Now, of course, that's before any kind of incentives or tax credits and whatnot, which are going to depend based on your personal tax situation, of course. From there on, you can also add options like the color charges are gonna be extra, the wheels are gonna be extra, the interior is gonna be extra. If you guys want autopilot, enhanced autopilot, or full self-driving, that's either $6,000 or $10,000 or $12,000 extra. The dual motor version is only $46,990. So again, $47,000 for this model that I'm showing you here, and that's basically it, because this one doesn't have the white interior, it doesn't have the bigger wheels, it doesn't have the extra charge, although the paint I believe is $1,000 extra. There's a new stealth gray paint that is actually the free color option. That's a new color for 2024. So overall, you can basically get one of these vehicles for under $50,000. That's before the federal tax credit. That basically makes this thing very enticing. Because remember, if you look at something like the BMW i4 or the Hyundai Ioniq 6, those are going to cost in the low to mid $40,000 range. The BMW can easily cost over 60 grand fully loaded, which you can spec up a Model 3 to be around 64 grand if you guys add every option and the full self-driving capability. But overall, I think that Tesla has made some nice changes here, and it also gets me excited to see the changes that should be coming for the Model Y, which I'm hoping Tesla will show us that updated version by sometime later this year. For Redline Reviews here at the 2024 Chicago International Auto Show, I'm Sofyan Bey.